All right, we are recording. So, what I want to do now that I have become aware of a particular contest, an art challenge. That's very out of character for this guy. Anyway, it's an art challenge for Saturday for TrotCon, and I want to do something which most artists would not do. Put the character's high score and proxy server in my fan game. My fan game comes with its own level editor, which allows you to add characters of your own to it. Let's see. High score and proxy server. I think I'm going to use H for high scores switch letter and X for proxies. The thing about my game is that you can actually have your character set up such that your playable characters are set up such that you can switch which playable character you're playing as at the touch of a button. Now, I've already created these images for high score and proxy server. It was actually a little bit difficult to find any art of them. And let's see, I believe this will be 10. Yeah, it was hard to find any art, and I didn't find any art of Proxy Server's cutie mark at all. I did find a cutie mark for high score. It's what I suspect to be a power symbol, symbol for switching the power on and off. And what I want to do is I want to see if in one morning I can actually get these characters into my fan game, equipment and all, and go from there. Obviously, this is more or less a recoloring of Rainbow Dash with a horn, a new cutie mark, and a slightly modified tail. But oh well. Oh dear, I forgot to create the rear stomp cast animation for this one. Well, if that gums up the game too much, I will just forget about it. But hopefully I can get away with not creating a rear stomp cast animation. I'm not planning on using any special abilities that require that particular animation. As you can see, I'm grabbing some images that I've already cut up and using those to put together high scores animations here, frame by frame. The whole point of my fan game, which is called Weather Factory Meltdown, also known as Fangame Factory, the point of this is if you have nothing but Microsoft Paint, an idea, and some free time, and this game with its level editor, you can make your own fan game completely from scratch. As you can see, I coded it with Java. That's Eclipse in the background. Probably most people won't even know what Eclipse is. It's a program that lets you create your own programs with a programming language called Java. It's a very popular programming language. There's those who hate it, there's those who like it, which you could say that about pretty much any programming language in existence. So as you can see, the animations are standing still, walking, and being in the air. This is for both jumping and falling, and in the case of characters that have wings, it is also the frame or animation that they're in while their wings are flapping, while they're flying. So these are the character statistics. I need to create a faceplate image here. I'm just going to use the left motionless one for this, just for the time being. For these colors. Okay. High score cannot fly. Jumping height, not yet implemented. That's fine. Let's see. I think I'm going to make high score what they call a mighty glacier. So can't fly, but let's see, moves fairly slowly and has very high damage and very high health. So I'm going to give him 5 hearts, or her as the case may be. And I need to get it to the point where High Score's hooves are actually on this green ground here. And I can do that with the offset of the hitbox. Let's try 9, close, 10, oops, too high, 7. I do believe that's perfect. Okay, so that's the hitbox that's going to get used for figuring out where the character is. Let's see, bullet animations. Because High Score is all about High Score is all about old school gaming, I am going to use, and it requires you to set a background color, transparent color here. Microsoft Paint does not actually let you do transparent colors, so I compensated for that by making sure that you can set the transparent color here. I drew every frame of High Score here with complete red, 25500 red as the background color, and then when I go in here I can set red as the background color, and you know, Bob's your uncle. It's completely transparented. So that's what we've got. The reason that I went with this plain old boxy rectangle thingy was because I figured that High Score would want to have a very video game looking attack, and I will give this attack 6 power. For element, I think I'll keep it as non-elemental damage. There's no defense against or vulnerability to non-elemental damage. Let's see, I think I'll have them spread these shots. Yeah, that's even cooler. Now I have to get the spawn point for the bullets, which is this flashy circle with an X through it, so that it's right on his horn. At least I'm assuming this is a he. Let's try 13 for the X offset. Pretty close. Y offset, let's try -11. Very close indeed. Let's try -13, and then push this one forward a little bit. 15. I think we have a winner. Pew. All right. Just for grins, I think I'll say that when he hits an enemy and destroys the enemy, then it will spawn a heart. Let's see, for custom attacks, I think I want to give him Stun Ray. So when you create a custom attack, you have to give it sub-attacks. Sub-attacks can be a fireball, a beam. The rest of these are all some funny-looking projectiles where you can actually control what color they are. But for now, I think I'm just going to give him what I call Thunder Ray. That is, oh boy, let's see, 15, -13 for the spawn point. Lead time, no lead time. Duration, constant. Damage, let's give it 2 damage over time. Spawn point moves with player. See, bolt count 2, ray width 3. Oh dear. Okay, this creates a very narrow beam. If I want to make it look like lightning bolts, I change it to width 13. Now that looks more like lightning bolts. You know something? I think I'm actually going to use this, but it's going to be forward to the wall. Okay, for element, let's give it the element of light, and I think that I need to make this conform to the pink, rather pastel pink color scheme that High Score's magic generally uses. Let's see, I think that means I need to set the color gradients here. Pink, orange, white, magenta there is something that I want to keep, so let's do pink again. Now this minimum and this maximum tells the game what the minimum and the maximum, where exactly in this gradient it's allowed to pick colors from. And you can have multiple bolts, each with their own color, or you can have them use a common color. This is what 1 looks like. It's not nearly as impressive as 2. Let me just put 3 out there. There's a lot of zappage. You can also have them use the same color in each frame if you want, but I think it looks a little bit better when it's like this. So now he can shoot this. I'm going to call the whole attack Stun Ray. Actually, I should call it Light Blast Ray. Animation for this attack, none. Control key behavior, hold for rapid fire. No cooldown on it, triggerable during any mode. Got to pick an icon for this. I'm very proud of the lists of icons that you're allowed to have. You can pick whatever color you want for these attacks. I'm going to pick pink. Just going to go with this one for now. So there's the Light Blast Ray. It's got a little icon there that shows what type of attack it is. And I think just for grins, I should add another attack. This one is actually going to be a projectile attack. Let's just call it Photon Torpedo, because there is one particular sub-attack called Photon Orb that was inspired by the way photon torpedoes looked in, actually it was Star Trek The Motion Picture. It really makes me wonder what it would have looked like if they'd had phasers. Now, it's possible to set these colors to a set of pre-existing gradients. Rainbow is the default one, which is red, yellow, green, blue, magenta. There's also grayscale, which I'm not going to use. Flame and Smoke starts with white, goes to yellow, to red, to maroon, to brown. Water and Ice is, similar. It starts with white to cyan to blue to midnight blue to black. And there's all kinds of other ones here. Electric, which uses a lot of common colors that they use in depicting electricity. Let's see. There's Dark Magic, which is the green and the purple with black in the middle. There's let's see, Holy here, which is a lot of colors that are used for holy magic in video games. Now that I think about it, a common color for holy magic is also light blue, and I didn't think to add that one. Maybe I'm playing too much World of Warcraft. Earthen is a lot of earthy colors, green, brown, gray, black, that kind of thing. And then, of course, you get into just plain old colors here. For this one, I think I want to use Water and Ice and use a great deal of the blue color scheme. Spawn point offset, I think we want 15 and 15. Target vector Y is 0, which means it doesn't go up or down. Target vector X explains how fast it moves forward or backward. And I want that to be solid. As you can see, this guy is shooting a photon torpedo out his horn. I think I will give it water damage. I don't think I have any attacks that use water damage yet, and want it to do quite a bit of damage, actually. 20 is generally going to be enough to destroy an enemy unless they have a resistance or an immunity. So click OK. Photon torpedo, tap. No animation for the attack. You can trigger it while you're jumping, standing, walking, whatever. The icon for it, oops. As you can see, this, as you can see, this is what is intended to be used for a photon orb. This icon means this sub-attack is a photon orb. There's a lot of different things that you can choose from. Like here's the nature list. You can have rays coming out of the sky. You can have progressively worse weather until it's storming, like it was during TrotCon. Actually, this game is amazingly appropriate for TrotCon because, well, first of all, there was a storm coming through during the opening ceremonies, and there's the whole plot of the game is that there's a storm going on in Ponyville, which is not good. In fact, it's problem with the weather factory. That's kind of implied by the weather factory meltdown term. Let's see. And another thing that's really appropriate about it is that the enemies are made of gems, and they kept talking about cursed gems. in the whole opening sequence. So let's preview this entire attack. Can shoot torpedoes at things now. Okay, so that's good enough for custom attacks. Elemental defenses, don't think we really need to get into that. You have the ability to add vulnerabilities and immunities and resistances to various attack elements. You can decide what attack elements there are going to be. And I need to name this guy finally, High Score. And before I forget, I should really get this to match up with High Score's color scheme. And none of these colors really work that well, so you can enter your own colors. So let's see. 128 is half green. No, I don't want half green. I want full green. That's 255. 128 is half blue. Now I get this nice pea green color here, which I think is much closer to High Score's actual coat color. And all the fan art that I found used black lines for the outline for both High Score and Proxy Server. And, you know, because of that, I used black lines myself, even though I didn't for any of the other canon pony characters. Now we get into equipment. Okay. You know, I could have swore that there was a way to get equipment slots directly added into this. Oh well, I'm going to worry about that later. Let's just click OK, and we shall have High Score as a character right here. Let's see. And now let's add Proxy Server. We'll use X because you know, you want to be able to quickly and easily change characters with the push of a button, and ideally they'd all be reachable with one hand. So X here. Give the name Proxy Server. Let's get a faceplate image for her. She's in the same directory here. So let's go with Proxy Server, left motionless there. And start populating these. And once again, we've got the background color here. Walk animation. Actually, there's a faster way to do this. Let's see. Okay. I believe I put it under TrotCon Special Edition here. No, I did not. Oh, yes, I did. So, grab these. Put this to its proper place. Air animation. Proxy Server left air. And repeat that for the right facing animations. Oh, right. Those are her wings. We will get to that in a bit. Wings are actually a feature that I added very recently. And I'm very proud of that feature, and again, I think that that is pure serendipity that I managed to get that done shortly before TrotCon. Because technically, I just put the wrong ones in there. That's annoying. Oh well, it happens. I certainly hope that I put the right ones in place for that. I forgot the right facing animation for frame number 3. Oh well. I shall fix that now. Should be pretty easy. And yes, I am using the Windows XP version of Microsoft Paint to do this. It's I kind of locked myself into this. I didn't even have Windows 10 or Windows 7 at the time I started all this, so wait a minute. Let me refresh this. All right, that looks a bit more promising. There we go. Cancel. Forgot what I was doing for a minute there. Okay, let's try this again, see if we can get the right-facing animation for Proxy Server in place. Let's see, Proxy Server right. Now that's more like it. Let's preview this. Clip clop. Ooh, I shouldn't use the word clop at all, especially since it's nothing like what we are currently looking at. All right. I used motionless for the air animation. Not good. There we go. So that's what we've got. And the thing about Proxy Server is that she's got this gem magic that causes these outlines or holograms of things like her horn or wings to spontaneously appear. So even though technically being an Earth Pony, whose cutie mark I was never able to discover, which explains the blank flank, despite being an Earth Pony, she can actually fly. And the way I implemented the wings for her was I created the ability for her to, I drew the wings just as fuchsia outlines. Before I get into the wings, I think I'd better fix the vertical offset here. 8 is not right, 7, much better. Let's see, to fix the colors I'm going to need, okay, I'm going to need a sort of a grayish blue. So let's try this. See if that works. That's too blue. Let's try this. Okay, that's a little bit too bright. Still too bright. Let's take this down. That's close. It needs to be a little bit darker. So let's take this down to 180. Let's make it a little grayer by increasing the red. I think I'm going to call that close enough. So this is what Proxy Server is like. Let's see, because Proxy Server's got so much magic, I think we'll give her lower health. At least, I certainly hope I'm getting the right gender pronouns, him, her, what have you. Proxy Server sounds a little bit, and looks more female. High Score sounds more male. Of course, it could be different. It could be different. What do I know? Let's see, for bullets. There's no actual bullet animation selected yet. So what I want to do is I want to actually play into the fact that Proxy Server summons these prisms. So it's going to be these hollow fuchsia prisms that get fired. And unfortunately, I do not have one animation for bullets that travel left and one for bullets that travel right. Someday I might add that, but I don't have that yet. So, actually, let's take a look at the statistics. I should probably have them flying out from that gemstone in her forehead, shouldn't I? Or I should say on her hairband. So let's move this upwards with a negative number. I think it needs to be a little bit further up. So 3. Actually, that looks perfect. Let's see. Let's make her a bit of a glass cannon. Again, the attack power is going to be 6. The element, let's make it arcane element. For custom attacks, let's add something that's non-elemental. I'm gonna show you why I have multiple sub-attacks. Geocryst is sort of a crystalline attack that I created for actually ice and for earth, for that matter. So let's make it broad from white to dark fuchsia. Spawn point, I believe that was 11 and negative 13. The damage, let's make it 5 for this. Target vector Y is 0. Target vector X, let's make it 12. And you should start seeing these crystals flying out pretty soon. Yep. I'll make it non-elemental. But here's the thing. You can have more than one projectile per attack. This allows you to create things like spread shots in my game. Once again, we want about the same gradient. -13. Target vector X, let's make it 11. And the target vector Y, let's make it -2. Now, as you can see, it's going slightly upwards. And we want the damage to be pretty consistently 5. It's going to add another geocrystal here. Fuchsia gradient. And no, I did not add that fuchsia gradient just for this. I put that in sort of a long time ago, while I was still designing these custom attack systems. So, damage 5, still no element. This time 2, so that it goes a little ways downwards. Target vector X is 11, and as you can see, it arcs a little ways downwards. I'm just going to call this crystal spread. Yeah, you tap it. There are ways that you can make melee attacks, but I won't get into that in this video. It's already a little bit too complicated, so let's just give it a 100 millisecond cooldown. And the icon, let's see, there's a lot of different categories of icons that you can choose from. I'm going to pick the one treasure, because there's some gemstone there are some gemstone shapes in here. Let's go with this square one that's sort of diagonal. And let's see, fuchsia isn't listed here, so let's create that. 255, and I believe 128 is, that's half blue, all red, and boom, you got fuchsia right there. So, crystal spread it is. Preview the entire attack, and you can see that it is spreading, not very widely. I'd have to have more projectiles to get it to spread wider, but I don't want to consume too much time with this. And what's really going to consume some time is adding flight with wing animations. As soon as you say that it can fly, character can fly with wing animations, all of these tabs get added to it. And technically you can leave a lot of these blank, and I'm going to. The wings are only going to appear while Proxy server is actually flying. So let's see, there's the back wing animation during flight, and there's the front wing animation during flight. And I've already parsed these out. I'm just going to have to be very careful with the X offset here. And the Y offset for that matter. So, TrotCon Special Edition. Come on, get in there. Okay, so we are facing left, and we're talking about the front wings, so I want Proxy server front wings left. And I believe there are 9 animations in this. Yep. So the background color for all of this is white. And now I just need to get it in the right place. The draw depth is going to be 10 for this. Let's see, the Y offset, I think it needs to be about 3 pixels down. And for the X offset, let's try 4. It's close. Let's try 5. Might be a little bit too far. But you know what? Let's go with this. Let's preview this. Flap, 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 flap. I think this is actually working pretty well. So 5 is the X offset, 3 is the Y offset. Let's remember that for the back wing animations. And so we want the back left wing animations. There we go. These are them. So background color to white for all frames. Y offset 3, X offset 5, draw depth -10. That means draw them behind the character. So let's preview this. Actually, it looks pretty good. Okay, now we just have to repeat that for the right-facing animations. So, notes down. You know, it's been a while since I actually set up any inventory systems, but I know that it's possible to do so. You can set up inventory for the, well, I should say equipment. Inventory is kind of a gimme. Right front. And I believe this time I'm going to want an X offset of -5, Y offset +3. That means 5 pixels left and 3 down. But now that I actually look at this, it doesn't look the same. No, there's like a pixel or two here in between the head and the wings. So, since I want a pixel or two here between the head and the wings, I'm going to make it X offset -7. I think that's a bit too much. Let's try -6. Better. And the draw depth is 10, which makes sure that we're drawing the wings on top of whatever their equipment is, or whatever equipment they're wearing. Yes, you can have them actually wearing equipment, which is something that I'm very proud of with this Fangame. I probably shouldn't toot my own horn so much. You know. So back right is where we want to go with this. Background color, white. Let's see. -6, 3, -10. Preview the whole thing. And there she is, flying in all her beauty. Okay. Now, let me see if there's a way to copy this. Let me see if I can auto-generate equipment graphics, and it got some kind of weird exception. I'm going to have to make a note of that and correct it later. Let's see. I guess I'm going to have to do this from scratch. So, equipment, landscape, set equipment background image. Let's see here. Don't think that we have an image yet, so I'm going to make one. I think it has to be, let me see if I can remember this, 250 by, okay, 400 across and 250 high. Let's go with, I think that everything else is using the left-facing animation, but let me just double check this. Pinkie Pie's equipment, no, she's facing right. Okay. She's facing to the right. I might just have to create these all from scratch, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it if I do have to create them from scratch. Actually, I should like start with one of the existing ponies' backgrounds and go from there, because that way I can actually use the existing systems, the existing offsets, and the rest of the equipment should just plain work. So let's see, Pinkie no. Let's try this. Now we're getting into the images that my game actually uses. I certainly hope that I can run across a character background somewhere in all of this. This might not be the right place to look for it. I'm not sure. This game is extremely complicated. You can see, you can probably recognize some of this stuff. This is Rarity's rain hat from, let's see, Return of Harmony Part 1. It's also her raincoat from there, and her umbrella from the same, which I think was also used in the Ticketmaster episode. There's also hoods in all of this that are actually drawn with multiple layers. First I draw the background of the hood with like the inside of it, then I draw the character's face on top of that, and then I draw this, the front of the hood, on top of that. It's the way hoods get drawn, and you know, these are all the equipable items, but they're not actually the player's equipment backgrounds, which is, you know, a little bit discouraging. I might be barking up the wrong tree here. I think that I have a different directory where I keep the character images. Let's... that should have been a dead giveaway right there. Okay. There we go. Motionless equipment. So, I think I got to blow this one up to, I think it's ×3. Yeah, I want to make this 3 times larger than it normally would be. So this one, oh, and I want to make sure this is transparent. It is, good, good. 300% horizontal, 300% vertical. And as you can see, this is a shameless recoloring of Rainbow Dash with a slightly different colored tail. Let's see. All right, and TrotCon Special Edition. Equipment, high score. Equipment background for high score. And then I got to repeat this for Proxy server. Right, motionless. Copy and paste this. Oh boy. Let's try that again. There. Now she gets to keep the whites of her eyes. And I think I should just erase some of this just to be on the safe side. And erase the whole tail. Okay. Just notice that they're both blue ponies. Blue is a really popular color. I wonder why. There's going to be someone watching this video who says it's because Rainbow Dash is the best pony. Okay, so now we got some equipment backgrounds for our guest star characters. Now then, equipment, landscape, set back, equipment background image. This is for high score indeed. Add equipment slots, saddle. And yes, you have to have an icon for all of your equipment slots, but fortunately I have one that is specifically for equipment and includes some equipment specifically for ponies. Horseshoe, saddle, bridle. Let's see. Yeah, that's annoying, but let's try that. Slot item properties. These are properties that are required in order for an item to count as being equipped. So let's go with saddle for mares. And properties that block this slot. The idea behind this is if you're carrying a two-handed weapon, obviously that doesn't apply for ponies, but if you were carrying a two-handed weapon, then you would need to, oh good grief, I've got to change the color here so that it's more green. I can do that, but I interrupted myself, didn't I? The idea behind equipment properties that block this slot, if you are using humanoid characters and one of them is wielding a two-handed weapon, then they shouldn't be able to equip a shield or a parrying dagger or anything like that in their other hand. There we go, that's better. And so if you had like an offhand equipment slot, then you could say two-handed weapons block this slot. Nothing can be equipped in there if you have that two-handed weapon equipped. Let's see. I think I will go with overskirt for this one. And it's really annoying that blue appears in those, but in some of these places at random. But let's see. I will add an item property that is required. Overskirt for mares. Perfect, right there. Let's see. And now I believe pants. Let's see, pants for mares. Okay, add another equipment slot. I believe this one will be the boots. There we go. Add item property, boots for mares. At some point I might want to add some stallion characters. These characters are both drawn with the mare body type, so I'm not going to worry about that. But if I add stallions, they're going to have a different body type, and the graphics for the equipment is going to be a little bit different. So that's why I have for mares in there. So this is going to be headgear. Trying to remember what all there was. There was headgear, a jacket, a cloak, and I feel like there's something else that I'm totally forgetting, but I don't remember what it is. I know that there were 8 equipment slots. So let's see, headgear for mares. I'm just going to click OK on this one and check what there is in Pinkie Pie's equipment. Okay. Okay, I made a mistake. The boots are supposed to be over here. This is supposed to be a tail cover. I will go and fix that. Boots are over here. And the thing about the tail cover is that if your pony is wearing an overskirt, then your pony shouldn't need a tail cover. That is the way I'm using the item properties that block it. Item properties are something that you set at the global level. I'll show you what it is later. Let's see. And for this one, I think I need to go to body parts. There's the brain, there's a cracked bone, eye, feather, fist. You'd probably be using this for flying type Pokemon if you decided to use this to make a Pokemon fan game, and this for fighting type if you wanted to make a Pokemon fan game. But I have a tail here, I have a beard and mustache, tentacle, hair, lungs, teeth, skull, flexing muscle, stomach. It's all kinds of different things there. So let's see. Tail cover for mares, and if a character is wearing an overskirt, then it blocks this one. Anyways, let's add another one for oops. Let's call this jacket. Go to equipment. There's this. I think jacket goes on bottom and cloak goes above that. If not, then it's no big deal. Jacket for mares. Let's add one more. Cloak. I'd wanted there to be multiple different chapters in this fan game. Let's see, where am I going? Jacket for mares, headgear for mares. That is very strange. Okay, cloak. That's way at the bottom. Alright, that's good enough. Except now I have to set starting items. So, let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to give high score boots and an umbrella, because I did not see high score wearing much along the lines of clothes. So, let's see. Black topped blue rain boots. Let's go with gray ones. Just go minimalistic here. As for the saddle umbrella, want to be fairly minimalistic here. Red and white striped umbrella for mares. Let's preview this. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like when high score is actually wearing the equipment. Okay, I think we have a winner here. Now I have to go and do the same thing all over again with Proxy server. Yeah, that's one of the unfortunate downsides of it, but you know, at least I have the image. So Let's add equipment slots. Saddle. I misspelled it. Oh well. Let's see, saddle right there. I can change the name. Saddle. Makes you pick the icon all over again, but oh well. Saddle for mares. Let's see. Headgear. Yeah. You know, I think I accidentally interrupted myself while I was talking about what I would have liked to have long-term in this game. Long-term, I would have liked there to be multiple chapters, and each chapter would have their own theme for clothing. The first chapter, since the weather factory is going haywire, is obviously uses the theme of rain gear. The second chapter would actually use party outfits as their theme. The third one would be winter outfits. It's don't want to give any spoilers for a game that doesn't yet exist, but I know that I'm going to need a lot of help if I'm going to actually get the game to be that deep. Actually, one of the main reasons why I was even coming to TrotCon in the first place was I wanted to drum up some interest in my fan game. I don't know whether it's going to work, but this fan game with its editor and everything is very powerful. You can make your own games. You can create your own playable characters, your own attacks, everything. I figure that's got to have a lot of appeal to it. Okay. Tail cover. Oops. I used the wrong one. Should be body parts and the tail there. Add equipment slot. Boots. Go back to equipment and the boot. You know, they don't have to be perfectly lined up, but let's see. Boots for mares. Perfect. And with this one, what? I guess I forgot to set the item property there. Just make sure that I've got all of these. Yep, got them all. So now let's set some starting items. Wait a minute, I think I want this to be headgear for mares with poofy manes. I strongly suspect that if I put a plain old rain hat on this, it's not going to work. The mane is just a little too big. But let's find out. Oh, right. If you put headgear for poofy manes in here, it will not let you equip any items that don't work with poofy manes. So let's set a starting item here. Dark green rain hat. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it goes right through. So another, I think that I need to make this, let's see, set starting item. The blue rain hood. And I'm going to add the item property headgear for poofy manes. Now that works much better. Unfortunately, it also completely obscures the gemstone, so I'm going to have to set it to something that won't. And I think the only thing that we've got is this, the umbrella hat preview. Now, it doesn't obscure it as much. Now, I remember that I saw in a lot of art that Proxy server was wearing some cloaks. So I think I'm going to take one of Rarity's cloaks. I think I'm going to make it a navy blue one. And that one is what she's going to wear. Okay, that works. I think I'll give her some boots too. Something that goes with this. The blue boots, yeah, I think those are going to work. And let's give her a tail cover as well. There is literally only one tail cover in the entire game, and that's this plastic one. That'll keep your tail dry during storms that are running through TrotCon. Alright, we are going to call this good. So now these characters are good and in the game. So let's save this. Let's see. Weather Factory Meltdown level. TrotCon 2021 Special Edition. Save that. Actually, yes, I want to pack this. This would allow people to play it on their own PCs. So packfile, TrotCon 2021 Special Edition level. And it's going to take forever to pack this up. It's grabbing every image asset in the entire level and putting it into a single file. That's going to take forever, so I'm just going to pause this recording until it's done. I'll bring up OBS. Actually, it might not have actually paused the recording, so it did in fact go to packing. I'm probably going to have to do a bunch of editing on these videos to show you what's going on, but it did eventually go to packing. It takes a long time to do this because there are a lot of graphical assets. There's the backgrounds, there's the ponies themselves, there's every single piece of equipment, including versions of the equipment that are blown up ×3 to show items being equipped on your character. But I'm going to stop the recording again and start it up once it's time to actually load the game. Okay, at this point we have the game open, and the thing about this game is that you can load up custom levels with this. You go to New Game, Load, and let's see, I believe that I have the pack file here. If you pick a pack file, then what's going to happen is it's going to say, Program has detected that this is a pack file. Please select a directory to unpack it into. This may take several minutes. I'm going to edit that out, but let's see. I believe I created C:/unpack something? I could have swore I created something. Packing folder for TrotCon Special Edition. This is where I want it to be. Click Save, and it will start unpacking files into that directory. Let me see here. The first thing that it does is it unpacks the level file itself, and then it starts unpacking the images. Let me just show you what this looks like. And it is just continuously adding image after image to all of this. There's equipment here. There's, yeah, lots of equipment. There's some background elements, those long lines that you saw there. Oh, here's a background for one of the rooms. This is a sort of a decoration that we've got, and this is an animation of Rainbow Dash stomping the ground. There's animations of her wings. These are some other background elements like rainbow waterfalls. There's boxes of rainbows that move over time. There's tons and tons of images that it is unpacking, and it's going to keep going until it gets every single one of them, which could take a while. So I'm probably going to stop this video and start it again once it's done. So yeah, I'm going to stop recording and start again. All right, we are once again recording. And now it has loaded the level, and with a touch of a button, we have high score. Pew, pew, pew. And look what he's shooting at. A golem made of cursed gemstones. And X, Proxy server is here. And she can fly. Those wings go right through that cloak, because why not? Powerful arcane damage. And when you tap the control button, crystals go flying outwards. And High Score has a very powerful beam, which takes a while to cool down and charge up. And neither one of them move very quickly. There's a glass cannon and a mighty glacier. Boom! But boy, is that a powerful ray. Do not mess with this pony. Whoa! Because that'll happen to you if you do. Zoop. Unbelievably strong light damage. And of course, we can change what they are equipped with. Huh, I guess that's a bug. The orange umbrella doesn't actually have an equipment image here. Oh well. Let's give him a purple raincoat, just for the grins. And there he is wearing it. Unfortunately, the red enemy is entirely immune to light damage. Ow. But regular old damage, perfectly vulnerable to that. Of course, I have to go all the way over here in order to actually get to the point where I can jump up onto that platform. And no, I can't. I have to switch to a faster character like Dashi here. So as you can see, Proxy Server and High Score are now totally in the game. And all it took was about a morning's worth of work to add these custom playable characters. Pretty neat, huh? That is the magic of Fangame Factory. It lets you set your imagination free. It lets you build your own stuff completely from scratch. All you need is Microsoft Paint, a few ideas, and this game engine and its editor, and bam, you have your own fan game. This is especially appropriate for this particular TrotCon because the enemies are almost entirely made of cursed gems. And after what they told us about in the opening ceremonies, about those cursed gems, I knew that I needed to show this off. Of course, once you've uncursed these gems with your magic or your elements of harmony or what have you, you can use these as collectible treasure. You just click on a pony's portrait and it brings up the inventory system. If you want Rarity to be wearing her fedora and trench coat from Rarity Investigates, you can make that happen too. Her shots deal earth damage. I figured that was appropriate since her cutie mark was a gemstone, or 3 of them I should say. So yeah, not sure what else there is to say about this except that the plot of this game is that the ponies are trying to get to the top of the weather factory so that they can fix the problem that is in Equestria where the weather factory's gone haywire. It's raining indoors, at least in the weather factory, and Equestria is getting flooded. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you're interested in this, and I will talk to you guys later.